Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished guests, Habib University community, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Let me begin by welcoming you all in this session and thank you very much for your presence. We are very excited to host Nyla Kyani, the first Pakistani woman to summit 3 8,000 plus meters peaks in first attempt. And these 3 attempts, 3 8,000 plus meters peaks in first attempt since last year. So another round of applause. This is phenomenal. Congratulations. My name is Shamez Mukhi, and I'm the Director of Student Life here at Habib University. It's an honor for me to be your host today. While looking at Nyla's profile, I was wondering about the challenges she must have faced during her climb, and I'm sure she will talk about it in her presentation shortly. You will agree that we all go through challenges and struggles in life, and I believe it occurs to just about all of us every day in everything we do. A few days back, while planning this event, I also faced a challenge from my own team. I was asked to be the host, and I accepted the offer. At that moment, one of my colleagues looked at my physique and inquired, "What made you qualify for this role?" So I said, "I have organized and participated in a few expeditions and adventure sports for the youth in the northern areas of Pakistan. And in one of the expeditions in Shimshal, we saw the youth run up the hill, and some of us, unfortunately, could not make it to the top. Now that was sad, but we had to turn that tragedy into an opportunity. So we had biryani and some cultural music and dance in the mountains before we returned to Karachi. So they had a great laugh, and after that struggle, my team accepted me to be the host today. So here I am. So I realized that our struggles and challenges give us opportunities as well. And talking about struggle in life, I remember the quote of Sir Sultan Muhammad Shah Aga Khan, that struggle is the meaning of life, defeat or victory is in the hands of God, but struggle itself is man's duty and should be his joy. So I believe that faith and perseverance keeps us going in life. Ladies and gentlemen, to formally welcome you all, I request Dr. Amir Hassan, Vice President Academics and Dean of Faculty, Habib University, to please come forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamez, and it seems you're doing a wonderful job as a host, so we know what to task you for our next series of events. So with that, adab, and a very good afternoon. On behalf of Habib University, it's my privilege to welcome you all to this session. A special thanks to Mr. Abdul Razak Daud and President Wasif Rizvi for being here with us today. Today's session captures a journey of dreams, dedication, and discovery about this phenomenal Sinf Ahan of Pakistan that continues to conquer great heights. A journey that resonates well with Habib's similar journey of embarking and climbing obstacles around reshaping and reimagining higher education in Pakistan. I therefore would like to thank Ms. Zaida Habib for bringing this wonderful lady, Nyla Kyani, for this session to Habib University to help inspire and ignite the spirit of adventure in Pakistan's youth. So once again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to hearing how an aerospace engineer, boxer, and a banker navigates height, cold, and so many other obstacles at 8,000 meters and beyond. Hopefully, this will further inspire our students as well as staff and faculty. Thank you. Over to you, Shams.
Thank you very much, Amir Saab. May I now request Ms. Zaida Habib, Director, Habib University Foundation, who is also representing Habib family here, to please come forward and share her thoughts.
Thank you. It's wonderful to see how our university has become a platform to connect with such inspirational members of the community. These are great examples for our student body to have to aspire to be. Habib University, the first liberal arts university in Pakistan, nurtures leaders for tomorrow and cultivates multifaceted talent very much like Nyla's. I would like to thank you all for joining us today, and welcome to Mehreen Dawood, who's actually put all this together, and to her father, Razak Dawood.
Thank you very much. You might have seen the logo of Bard Foundation on the screen. I would like to request Ms. Mehreen Dawood to share with us the extraordinary work of Bilqis and Abdul Razak Dawood Foundation, and also to introduce Nyla Kyani.
Zaida Habib, Director, University Foundation, Wasif Rizvi, President of Habib University, officials of the university, ladies and gentlemen, faculty and students, Assalamu alaikum. Bard Foundation was founded in 2016. The Bilqis and Abdul Razak Dawood Foundation works on a mission to support individuals who demonstrate the drive and the determination to excel in their chosen field. Bard Foundation's flagship project is DTI, Descon Technical Institute, which concentrates on developing skills such as scaffolding, welding, safety, and many more, mostly construction related, to enable men and women to come in the force both in Pakistan and overseas. We were really surprised when we introduced to women industrial engineering course and a forklift operator course. We are happy to say that not only did all of them finish the course, but all of them are now employed. There was a very interesting story. So I met one of the ladies and I said that, how did you convince your parents to be an industrial electrician? And she's like, yeah, when I told my brother, उसने मुझे कहा, उफ इतनी कमज़ोर सी हो, कहीं करंट लगा तो गिर जाओगी. So she said these were, unheard of, but I just took it as a challenge. And I just feel that we should applaud not only her, but all the other women for being pioneers in acquiring this male-dominated skill. So besides the Technical Institute, from where more than 20,000 students have successfully graduated, we have established perpetual scholarships in different universities in Pakistan to benefit students, men and women, from all provinces. We are and we will continue to support education at all levels. Razak Saab's passion has always been the spirit of adventure. So those who demonstrate to us the spirit of adventure, their determination, their dedication to excel at international levels, we are behind them. We are supporting a few individuals in tennis who are currently getting their training in America and Spain. In Pakistan, our initiative is the ACE Tennis with Asamul Haq. With structured training, I have to say that we are doing well. The participants are winning national tournaments, Asian rankings. So it's just been so overwhelming that you do a little bit and it goes so far. We have so much talent in Pakistan. Another area that we have just started working on is football. So for the first time, we are sending somebody to the Real Madrid Academy in Spain to learn. He's going to study how to be a football coach and a manager. For us, we feel that sports is such an important thing, if developed properly, can be great for character building and, of course, potentially a large employer. To be honest, I can go on and on about BARD because we're also passionate about it and all its initiatives. But today we are here for Nyla Kyani. I remember the first time she came in front of us, and looking at her physique, we were like, oh my God, she wants to summit. But her passion, her determination was unbelievable. We call her the mountaineering mom, a mother of two, a banker by profession, a love for sports, the first Pakistani female, like as was mentioned, to summit 3 summits in 1 year. Not only that, I have to again say that she had come to our head office in Lahore, the DESCON office. She gave a talk over there, and then we were just sitting together, and she said that, I said, how long are you in Pakistan for? She said, I'm on standby. If I get a call, I'm going this evening to summit Nanga Parbat. And I'm like, what? She's like, yes, I'm ready for it. So ladies and gentlemen, Nyla Kyani.
And now, the big moment, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, let's put our hands together for the elite mountaineer and our inspiration, Nyla Kyani.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out for me today. It's an honor for me to be here in one of the best universities of Pakistan. My name is Nyla Kyani. I'm a mother of 2. I moved from engineering to banking, and I recently left banking to start my own business. So I'm from Rawalpindi, proud Pindi girl, and when I was growing up, my father was very strict. I had an unhappy, and I recently started using the word, a dark childhood. My dad was strict, and my parents didn't actually have a good relationship. That obviously had an impact on us. Very difficult childhood, and sometimes when I think of to be honest, I try not to go into my past and think of my childhood because it doesn't bring good memories. So when I was growing up, although I had a very strict upbringing, I still had wild dreams. I wanted to be a space scientist, and I wanted to be a ninja when I was growing up. So I didn't stop dreaming even when I was going through a tough time. When I was in Pakistan, I moved to UK later on because my mother pushed me out. She wanted me to study and get a higher education outside of Pakistan and then come back. So my father doesn't marry me off to my cousin when I was 18. So anyway, I ended up in UK. Had a very tough life then because I was financing my own education. I worked full-time nights and I went to university full-time. And that period was very hard for me too, because it's not easy to study a very difficult degree and then finance it by staying awake all night. It was that hard that there were times when I actually thought, what can I do to make it easier for me to finance my education? And there were many points in my during that time when I thought maybe I should sell my kidney, and I actually thought about it very seriously. But I think Allah Ta'ala helped me, and I didn't have to do that. I took a gap year, and somehow I completed my education. I'm taking you through my journey just for you to understand what I went through my life, how I ended up on the top of K2, and now I'm in front of you sharing my story. After my degree, I got married, and because of my tough childhood, difficult time at university, I actually struggled in my marriage too. There were 2 years when I was completely separated and I was struggling with mental health. I actually was suicidal. I'm saying it with a smile right now, but it was a very tough time in my life. And I made a choice then. I thought, I had some coaching, I did some courses, personal development courses, and I chose to be with my husband and work on the marriage. And now he's the most amazing husband I could ask for. When I was at university, I got opportunity to try different sports. So sports for me was actually a way of getting out of my depression, to deal with mental health issues. So I tried a bit of everything because I wanted to see what I would enjoy doing. So I started boxing because I was actually much stronger than the boys in my boxing sessions. So I started competing as an amateur boxer, and I trained. Now it's been 12 years since I started boxing. So that's how I coped with my depression. Now this picture, this is where my mountaineering journey started from. It may not give that impression because it's just a woman who wanted to have some photos taken in the mountains. So the quick story behind this photo is I didn't want a big wedding, and I convinced my husband to have a small wedding celebration at K2 base camp, so we could have some pictures taken, and that was the memory I wanted from out of our wedding ceremony. So my husband had returned from Skardu because he had a family emergency, but he told me to go ahead and see K2 because that was my dream, to see K2 that time. And he said, once you have kids, and even I thought once I have kids, I'll never be able to go back to this place again. So I went without him, but even there, I didn't think I'd be a mountaineer one day. But I was very inspired by the climbers I met there. I spoke to them, and I wanted to experience what their bodies and what their minds went through, because it's not easy to climb a mountain. I came back, and then I think it was in my destiny, because sometimes we meet people who change our lives, and then somehow somebody saw this picture online, and he contacted me on Instagram and asked me whether I'd like to climb a mountain. And I said, no, I'm expecting a baby. No, it's a no from me. He said, so what, when you have your baby, you can join me after that. And that was shocking for me, because I never thought that after I have kids, I can do any adventure activity, because that's how we grew up. That's how that's how our mindset. That's what we think once we get married. A lot of women come to me and they say, we've left our careers, and we've stopped playing sports because now we're a mother and that's our focus. But anyway, once he told me, I started researching, because I think when I was there, mountains, there was an attraction which was pulling me to the top of the mountain. So I said, yes, I will think about climbing, and I started researching. I chose a mountain in Nepal the expedition got cancelled because of COVID, and then I planned to climb Gasherbrum 2 in Pakistan, because I was living in Dubai I wanted to show my friends the beauty of Pakistan, because we have all these mountains. We as Pakistani didn't even know they exist here. So I had my second baby in 2020 November, and I wanted to use the maternity leave because it's not easy to get time off work. So during my maternity leave, and after she was 6.5 months, I went to Skardu. I found the best team in Pakistan. Again, Allah Ta'ala was making everything easier for me. I met the best people. I started meeting people who were teaching me, who were guiding me, who were best in their field. So Ali Raza Satpara in the middle, he was the best climber of Pakistan. He had climbed he climbed 8,000 meter peak 17 times. And then I had Sarbaz Khan in my team, who's right now the top climber of Pakistan. So my aim was just to reach 7,000, because I didn't know I could climb a mountain. This was my very first peak. I didn't know my capability. So I went to 7,000 without any difficulty. Then I went to the top of the mountain without any difficulty, without any scratch. Came down, and Ali Raza Satpara in the middle, he asked me, would you like to climb K2 next year with me? And every mountaineer wants to climb K2 one day. I really wanted to climb K2, but I didn't want to say it because it was my very first peak when I climbed Gasherbrum 2. So when he said K2, I said yes, for sure. I didn't think of anything. I didn't think about statistics, the death rates, or how difficult it is. I just said yes without thinking. And then, this picture, this makes me emotional actually, because this is my father receiving an award from President of Pakistan on my behalf. So same father who, when I was young, he didn't let me go to the park because he said girls from good families don't go to park. I wasn't allowed to go out of the house alone, and the issues that most of us have to deal with, but for me, it was very shocking that none of my friends had that issue, that they weren't allowed to go to parks even. So all I did in my childhood was go to school, go to tuition, go to mosque, come home, no fun. And the same father, he didn't want me to mix with men, now is receiving an award for a sport that's male dominated. All my team was men, and now he's a proud father. So I came back, and when my main issue was how to finance the expedition, because I financed Gasherbrum 2. K2 was going to be much more expensive than G2. So again, destiny and how Allah Ta'ala makes, opens up your path when you have a clear intention and you have a passion. I went to Dubai Expo, and I met Abdul Razak Daud Sab, and it just happened within, I would say, less than a minute. We were at the same time we were at the same place, and Razak Sab told me about BARD Foundation, Bilkis and Abdul Razak Foundation. I had no idea what it was before meeting him, but that meeting opened up paths for me to get finance for my expedition. So I went home, applied, I sent an application to a BARD Foundation, and I received a call, and then I had a meeting with the board members, and after a week I received a call that my application has been approved. And that was, again, after G2, was the happiest moment for me, because I didn't actually believe that somebody will believe in my dream so quick. So I started training for this expedition. I was working full time. I was working 9 to 5, and used to come home, and my daughter, who was a year and a half, she was teething that time. So she used to keep me awake most of the nights. So I had sleepless nights. I used to go to office, come home, train, and it was making me sick. The stress was actually making me sick every 2 to 3 weeks. And then things at work got difficult. My leave that was approved got cancelled. I eventually left, gave my resignation, And I had so many other problems with my gear because I had to buy gear from different parts of the world. And then what happened, that was nail in the coffin. Nail in the coffin was my guide who motivated me. I spoke to him so often. He died just 3 weeks before the expedition. So that's the point when my husband and my personal trainer asked me, do you not think these are signs from Allah Ta'ala that you should cancel your expedition? And that hit me because obviously that was the last thing I wanted to hear from people very close to me. So I took some time and I thought, okay, a lot of things are going wrong, but not everything is going wrong, because I still have the support from Bard Foundation, which is the main thing that a lot of athletes struggle with. In Pakistan, we have so many talented athletes, and they can't do what they want to do because of this support that I had. So I decided I'll go ahead and we will dedicate our expedition to Ali Raza Satpara. And before I move forward, I'd like to share this quick video. So because I was struggling with time, I used to take my kids to my training. So I left my family, I reached Skardu, and when I reached Skardu, I actually thought I had already climbed the mountain because it was so hard to get to that point. And it took us 5 days to go from Skardu to K2 base camp. So I was with the team that I climbed G2 with, Sarbaz Khan and Sohail, and then we started our rotations. So we basically went from base camp to camp 2 first time, came down, then we waited for the next weather window. Weather was bad for 10 days. Then we left for summit push. And I'll show you very quickly what the camps look like. So this is camp 1, 6,100 meters. So the tents are also actually on an incline. So we never actually slept on a flat surface, so I had sleepless nights there too because we went on a flat area. So I'll show you a couple of more videos from Camp 2 and Camp 3 because I get questions, what are these camps? So I'll give you a quick idea. Same thing as Camp 1, but higher. One of the issues or challenges we had on K2 was that it's steep from bottom to top. So it was that steep that when we were climbing up, we had no space to even take a break and have a sip of water or go for toilet break. Bottleneck is another, most of you would have heard of. Bottleneck is one of the technical area, and it's basically popular because of this ice rack. It's an overhanging rack and it can fall anytime. And then the issue we had was that we had 150 people climbing K2 that day, and we had to wait for up to 3 hours in this area because people were stuck, and then people who were coming down, they were using the same rope. And it was blue ice. Blue ice is not easy to climb. So that extra 2 to 3 hours actually made the climb even harder. And this is a quick video to show you what the rock fall looks like. I mean, these rocks are small in size and slower, but in reality, I took a video because I was at the safe spot. But in reality, most of them are bigger, most of them are much faster, and they can hit you anytime. So that was our biggest challenge on K2, avoiding those rocks. And another challenge, or this was, I would say, biggest challenge for me on K2 was seeing dead bodies. And this is part of mountaineer's life. So we saw somebody dying right in front of us on our summit push. So my team leader is actually helping. It took him an hour and a half to bring him down. And we spent a lot of time helping him, and that basically, obviously seeing somebody in that situation has a toll on you. So we saw that just before our summit push, but we still had to go up because we were so close to the summit. We hadn't eaten for days. I mean, we had Maggi noodles, one Maggi noodles shared between 3 people. We weren't sleeping. We were seeing dead bodies. There was another dead body at Bottleneck. You might have heard of John Snorri, who was Muhammad Ali Satpara's team member. His dead body is there. Couple of other people from another camp died on K2 mountain. So we went through all of that and eventually reached the top of K2 mountain on 18th of July. And I actually couldn't, because I had so many challenges even on the mountain that I didn't think I had doubts in my head that I might not be able to climb K2. And when I was at Bottleneck, I actually was scared that I might not be able to go back to my daughters. But I used them as my strength because I thought they're very small. I need to go home, so there's no space for error. I can't make even a small mistake. And then eventually I got to top of the K2 and So K2 was done, but I wasn't done. So I came down and I told my team leader that I want to climb Gasherbrum 1. That's another 8,000 meter peak. And again, the challenge was finances. I asked Bard whether they will be, they'll support. And within 2 days, Bard approved it. And again, that's why I keep, I can't thank Bard enough because my friends are athletes who are sponsored by other organizations. And none of their organization would approve something this big in 2 days, and Bard did that for me. And before the expedition, I mean, a lot of other organizations, when they sponsor an athlete, they expect a lot of media. They want you to do press conferences before the expedition, and I told Bard Foundation that I am not comfortable doing that, and Bard said, whatever you're comfortable. And I met Razak Saab just before my expedition, and he said the same thing. He said, don't worry about anything. We are focused on your safety. You need to get the best equipment, and nothing else matters. If you don't want to do press conferences, you don't have to do it. And then that was a shocking thing for me too, because I actually couldn't believe that I was with Razak Saab, who's founder of the organization, founder of one of the biggest company in Pakistan. Again, because I never saw my friends who were sponsored by other organizations, I never saw them with the founder of the companies they were sponsored by. So thank you so much, Razak Saab and Bard Foundation. So after K2, I went to G1, and then G1 on Gasherbrum 1, weather was very bad. So I'll just show you. I'll show you one video, and we can conclude. And we reached Gasherbrum 1 summit on 12th of August. And this was the first time a Pakistani team climbed another 8,000 meter mountain straight after K2. So that's the end of my K2 and G1 story, but I'd like to say today I shared some very personal details with you, personal family history. I do that because I went through very tough time, and I used to complain to Allah Ta'ala that why me? Why? I had a horrible childhood. I had a tough time at university. I had horrible initial few years of my marriage. Why me? But I realize now, this year, that if I hadn't gone through that tough time, I wouldn't have the mental strength to be able to climb and be on top of K2 and Gasherbrum 1 summit. And the message I'd like to give to women especially, that don't give up on your dreams after you get married and after you have kids. And a message for everyone that if a girl from a small town of Rawalpindi, can climb the highest peaks of Pakistan, something that I thought was impossible. You can do anything you want to. The strength in you, you just need to find it. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Nyla. That was incredible. And I think, we heard about your sports journey, mountain climbing, but we can connect it, all the learnings of your life experience to our own lives, whether it is education or our career. So thank you very much for this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have about 7-8 minutes. I'm going to share with you a wonderful quote of Nelson Mandela, and I carry it with me because I work for youth development. And if you think this resonates to what Nyla has presented, then I want to hear a big hand. So here you go. Abhi to maine shuru nahi kiya, I like this audience. So Nelson Mandela says, sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to the youth in a language they understand. So ladies and gentlemen, I saw and I could hear that in every sentence that she said. So we had planned Q&A session, but because we have limited time, I would request maybe a couple of questions, and I'd love if our students could ask those questions to start with. Any students? Yes, please. Apna introduction briefly there, and then question, please.
Hello, I am Fatma, and I am an electrical engineering senior. And I want to mountaineer. It's one of my biggest passions. I really want to climb Rakaposhi one day. It's my dream mountain. I've been to Rakaposhi twice, to Hunza, where it's visible from. And I've always wanted that one day I would be able to climb that mountain. So I really loved your talk. I wasn't planning to come to university today, but I thought I should definitely come and attend this. And yeah, so amazing talk, amazing inspiration. I was very much limited by the fact that I have to climb very quickly because if I get married, I'll run out of time. But your talk has inspired me that no, that does not happen. You still have time after that. And my question is regarding your summit to K2. I want to really know, lovely experience description, just by the way, but I want to know regarding how many days did it take you to the top, and how many camps did you have until the top, and how, was the route the same when you were coming down, and the same number of days and camps, and yeah.
Thank you so much, first of all. Thank you so much. I actually missed that in my presentation. It took me 1 month from Skardu to summit of K2. And then it took long because we have to acclimatize and we have to go up and down and go up again. And then, so basically in summit push, it took us 5 days from base camp to top, and it took us 2 days to come down again.
And I always tell people that Pakistanis are actually jinnats, and you are one of them. Because once they get their mind to something, they end up doing it. Simple question. It's this mountain is supposed to be more dangerous than the Everest, and but is there like a regular path that everybody takes to get to K2, or they just take a random route once? And the other question was that I did not see too many people wearing oxygen masks, because I went to Tibet once, and right at the airport I had to get an oxygen mask. So I was embarrassed, and I said, oh my God, what's happening here? Anyway, that's fine. Sorry, my name is Shahid Abdullah, and I'm an architect.
Okay, so the set routes we take, they're three or four on K2, and most of us, actually all of us, climbed the same path because we had ropes fixed on the route from advanced base camp to top of the to summit of K2. So everybody followed that path. But sometimes some climb, it depends on the season. There's another route people can climb, but they need to fix the ropes on that route and then climb that. And the second question, most of the climbers again used oxygen. A lot of climbers actually use oxygen from just above Camp 1 and Camp 2, but I wanted to use oxygen as late as I could. So I used it from 7,200, and next time I'll use a picture of us with the oxygen mask too. I like to show my face, that's why I have my pictures without the oxygen mask.
All right, we have another question from a student, please.
Thank you for being here and thank you for the amazing talk. I was just concerned about one thing that last year and after the John Snorri and the Satpara incident, there have been many pictures of the K2 mountain basically कि वहाँ बहुत सारा कचरा भरा हुआ है. There is plastic everywhere और base camp की हालत, like there is debris and stuff. So as a mountaineer, how do you see this situation? क्योंकि दुनिया में हम जिस तरफ जा रहे हैं, there is like this climate change and all these things, or how do you see it? Like, is it it is a healthy activity, but how do you avoid hurting the nature? Because it might come back in few years, like nature पूरा तबाह हो जाए. So how do you see as a mountaineer?
Of course, I think climate change का जो impact है, all of us saw that monsoon के दौरान. तो उसमें already काम हो रहा है. Issue ये था कि हम पाकिस्तानी हम लोग वो ख्याल नहीं करते हैं, कचरा हर जगह फेंकते हैं. तो the same thing happened on K2. तो ज़्यादा था वो porters हमारे, क्योंकि hundreds of porters went with climbers to the base camp, and उनको awareness नहीं है. They don't care. They're not actually treated. They're not paid well. So वो भी issue है. Then they don't care about the climate or environment. तो वो कचरा और फेंकते हैं. और K2 के mountain पे ये issue था कि it's so hard. Sometimes people get injured or they die, and उनका जो सामान है ऊपर आ जाता है. Sometimes they just don't want to bring it down because it's too heavy. तो उसका अभी एक तो वो government level पे काम चल रहा है. I'm actually working with Gilgit Baltistan government. उनकी porters की guides की training पे उनको awareness देने के लिए. Then we'll have some rules implemented to make sure जब climbers जाते हैं उनका वज़न किया जाए उनके सामान का, and then on the way back उनका वज़न किया जाए और पूछा जाए कि कम किस वजह से है. तो they'll have some calculations क्योंकि food जो consume हुआ है उसका इतना weight होना था. तो a lot of work's being done, and you're right, mountaineers plus staff, they were careless. Or K2 के जो camps one, I think you saw in one of my video, it was actually full of rubbish. तो a lot of work's being done, क्योंकि अगर नहीं होगा तो वो पूरा environment तबाह होगा. Climate change के जो issues आ रहे हैं वो हम avoid नहीं कर पाएंगे. It'll make everything worse. Good question,
Brilliant.
by the way.
Thank you very much. For the interest of time, we'll have to close question and answer session here, but we have 2 or 3 items left, so please, Naila, please,
Thank you so much.
Ajay, and thank you very much for that inspirational presentation. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Zada Habib, Director of Habib University Foundation, the President, Wasim Rizvi, officials of the university, 2 luminaires that we have with us, Shahid Abdullah and Noorjan Grami, faculty, fellow student, Assalamu alaikum. What a wonderful story we've just heard. A story of courage, determination, and absolute commitment. It's a story, and Naila was not a member of a mountaineering family or a family that was adventurer seekers, an ordinary family. And she had a difficult childhood, and she had many challenges as she grew up. And for somebody who has come from an ordinary background to do an extraordinary feat is truly remarkable. I was at Expo. We were at one of our functions in the auditorium and busy doing the job that I was supposed to do, and some lady came up to me and said, I believe you support people who have the spirit of adventure. I said, oh yes, we do. So I would like to seek your help. I said, I'm busy in the government. Go to Bard Foundation in Lahore. If they help you, your kismat. And that was the end of the conversation. I didn't even know her name. And when she goes there and goes to the Bard Foundation, and the matter goes up to the board. We have 6-member board, and I have to say, 2 said no. How can we finance this lady, a mother of 2, a banker, never climbed, and we would throw our money against with her? No way. But sensibly, 4 said no. We have faith in her. She has that spirit, she has that determination, and so we funded her. Now the question comes is, what have we learned? One of the things that when we started Bard Foundation was in Pakistan we don't have enough people with that spirit of adventure to do something at the international level. So we thought that let's put our funds behind that. Nobody does it. And Pakistanis are generous people, but they give to health, they give to education, but they don't give it to the spirit of adventure. They don't give it to sports. So we thought, let's go out of the way. So that's what we did. Now, coming back to Nyla's thing, the one thing that really impressed me is when a member of the team, her guide, when he dies, now that is that unforgiving moment that comes in many of our lives, came in Nyla's life. And everybody says, mat karo, ye nahi ho payega. But instead of going on a certain path and giving the rationale of why she's not doing it, she chose the untrodden path and said, why not? And so she went, and we saw that she got to the top. Nyla, you've been a role model for us. Thank you ever so much. You have done one thing that we in Bard Foundation are really keen on, and that is women empowerment. Today, we are financing a young 11-year-old girl. She's right now with her parents in Tampa, Florida, battling out on the tennis courts with the best in the world. And she's there. And the beauty of it is, she's 11. If she wants to win a big tournament, that's at least 5 to 6 years away. So she has to keep going for 6 years. We hope and pray at Bard Foundation, and I think we should all be supporting that, inshallah, one day we may have somebody right up at the top of the tennis world. So that's what we're trying to do, and we've just seen another example here. We're at the premises of Habib University. Let us not forget that they are also pioneers. I remember the very early days of this university, and the Habib family, Zaida, you and your family. We had Ali Suleiman Habib, we had Rafiq Habib. Well, they have the spirit of adventure in a different way, in a different field, to put up a first-class university, and here we are with a beautiful campus and a beautiful university. We've had Nyla go to two other universities, LUMS and this morning at IBA. And the spirit that I see here amongst you people, it's absolutely the best. I'm so happy. I feel happier here than I did at LUMS, I must say. Thank you very much to all of you. It's wonderful. Another thing that we all have to learn as Pakistanis, and that is many of us achieve many things, but there are far too many people wanting to pull them down than to build them up. Please let us learn to enjoy other people's successes. I just heard one success story today. Your daughter, that she's going to direct, be the main director for the next movie, Star Wars movie. We should all enjoy it, and Pakistan is doing well at the international stage, and that is wonderful. So to conclude, Nyla, thank you very much. You've been a role model. You never gave up. You've taught us, have a dream. And if you can dream it, you can do it. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abdul Razak Dawood Sahab, for that inspiring speech and for the wonderful work that your foundation does for igniting the spark of hope for the youth of Pakistan. So thank you. I'd like to request our President, Mr. Wasif Rizvi, for the vote of thanks.
So Razak Sahab, we have a riwayat here. We both say adab and salam at Habib University. Although MQM is no longer a threat, but still we we adopted it in spite of that. So adab and salam, everyone. I'm going to address Razak Sahab with his secret identity, founding director of Habib University Foundation. So he was CEO of Habib University Foundation, Nadeem Naqvi, Vice President, Academic Affairs, Amir, Abdullah Saab, Nurjahan, of course, and Zahida Habib, Mehreen. Thank you so much, all the people from Bard Foundation, our faculty, our students, and please join me in acknowledging yet again this phenomenal, inspiring hero that we have in midst of us, Nyla. I think Sharmeen Chinoy found the next protagonist as well to play the new central character in Star Wars. At least I would like to see that film, if that happens. Naila solved a lifelong feud that I grew up in the midst of. I grew up in Jhelum, although I am not a Rajput, but all my friends were. So half of them were Kyanis and the other half were Janjuas. I must say that Janjuas were lying when they said that they were better than Kyanis. So obviously Kyanis have come up on top. So I unfortunately don't have this kind of adventurous spirit in me. But many years ago, about 35 years ago, mountaineering and mountain became a focus of my intellectual curiosity when I read the story of Friedrich Nietzsche. So Nietzsche was this very famous late 19th century German philosopher, and he was going through various existentialist crises of many sorts, and he took a retreat in a Swiss village. I think Sils Maria, was this tiny village at the foot of Alps. And he was sitting there on a boulder one day, and that's when he found his philosophical focus. So he looked at the mountain, very high mountain somewhere, perhaps Mont Blanc, I don't know, one of the high ones. And he had a thought experiment. The thought experiment was that if somehow something, without any effort, picks him, a balloon, or at that time perhaps helicopters weren't around, or an aircraft, and carries him right at the top of that mountain, versus if he attempts to climb it and breaks his bones and gets a frostbite or maybe not even make it, what would make him happier? So as a human being, it's not hard to imagine the answer. So Nietzsche, by looking at the mountains, arrived at a very profound paradox in human nature, that we actually like to see the outcome of our effort and suffering instead of getting it too easy. No one on the planet would like to just, get on a helicopter and stand on top of K2. It would be a terrible story. No one, you would be embarrassed to share it. But this is the story, right? And that's when he came up with his most famous philosophical line, which has been ruined by pop culture. But prior to Kelly Clarkson's song, it was actually a very good line: what doesn't kill you make you stronger, right? So he wasn't advocating death. He was saying that there is this great agency, great self-cultivation opportunity with every suffering that one encounters, which you have shared. So you have basically given us not just a lesson in your life, but a profound and resounding affirmation of whatever we've been trying to share with our students, that why rigor and effort is just not to acquire a little bit of skill, but achieve great sense of self-fulfillment, which is embedded in human nature. So thank you so much for that. So wherever Nietzsche is now, he died a long time ago, he must be, a fan of, or a card-carrying member of Nyla Kyani fan club. We are deeply, deeply honored. Thank you, Bard Foundation. You are absolutely right, Razak Saab. This is unheard of. These are not the kinds of causes that are supported in Pakistan. Really hats off to you and Marine and whoever are the directors, especially those 4 ones. We would you did not share their name, but we would like to send them an acknowledgement. But this is, it's not just a very lopsided focus. So in Pakistan, we confuse our generosity with charity. We like to support causes which are charitable. So any kind of aspirational or institution building, we face that challenge at Habib University as well. So it seems a little less daunting in face of what Nyla just shared, but the challenge that we gave ourselves was that how can we create a truly world-class institution which is genuinely accessible to anyone who wishes to come. So Habib University, statistically speaking, is the most generous private university in the world. We recover less than 25% of our cost from students. And in that 75%, we are able to support 100% of our students. So almost all students are given one form of support or the other, and many are given complete scholarship, especially the ones who are coming from local examination board, and which are about 40% of our students, which is again about 39% better than many other universities. But your story has really, I think we need to do it even more. We need to look out for especially. So already there are certain things right we're doing. About 52% of our students are women. I hope this becomes a viral news that Nyla Kyani came here and shared the story. And we would like to, Fatima, I don't know if she's here or not, but let's figure out a way to send you to Rakaposhi, right? Let's make that start. And you have this extraordinary peerless mentor already here that you can exchange numbers with. Thank you so much. Thank you for honoring us. Thank you, Bard Foundation. Thank you so much.